How did this woman move into this Airbnb and not pay this guy for over 540 days? And now this woman wants this guy to pay her $100,000 to move out. How could this legally happen? We're going to explain in this guide for renters and landlords. And landlords, we're going to run through the 5 mistakes he made so that you don't see the same thing happen. Hey there, Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates. We've been helping renters and landlords know their rights before things go wrong. And remember, we can't give tax or legal advice, but for the most honest and up-to-date real estate advice, subscribe to this channel. A big thanks to TJ and George V for sending this article my way. We're going to give you a quick summary of exactly what happened. In September of 2021, the owner of 1235 North Tiger Tail in LA, Dr. Sasha Jovanovic, rented out a separate unit in the house. You can call it a guest house or an accessory dwelling unit via Airbnb for 6 months to Elizabeth Hirschhorn, and it cost her about $20,000. The 6 months were up in March of 2022, but Hirschhorn did not move out. The owner gave her an additional month, but come April 12th, 2022, she didn't move out, and she didn't pay any additional rent, and it's been over 540 days, which is equal to almost $60,000 in unpaid rent. The owner, through attorneys, gave her notices to terminate the tenancy, but has not been able to evict her, nor collect any rent. So what 5 mistakes did Dr. Jovanovic make? Mistake number 1 was doing this in LA City. We have the Zemus tool up here. We could show that this property is firmly ensconced in LA City, where they have some of the strictest regulations for landlords. They have the rent stabilization ordinance and the just cause ordinance. Literally every rental property in LA City is covered by an ordinance. This makes it tough for landlords in general to evict tenants unless they follow in a narrow set of criteria. This will also dovetail into mistakes 4 and 5. Number 2, doing this in LA City when there was an eviction moratorium in place due to COVID-19. So at the time the doctor was renting this unit out, and we released a bunch of content at that time, there was an eviction moratorium in place. It was very difficult for landlords to evict tenants for any reason. The tenant just had to say that COVID affected them, and they were able to stay in place without paying rent. Between LA City and LA County, that ran through the end of March 31st, 2023. It wasn't until April of 2023 where this protection was no longer in place. Number 3, renting via Airbnb for 30 days or longer. In this case, the good doctor let her stay there for 6 months initially, and then extended that beyond, gave her another 30 days. The problem is for a landlord is this changes the way the tenant is treated. Once you hit day 30 or more for occupancy, the tenant now has to go through due process to evict her. It has to go to the court system. So by allowing her to stay beyond day 30, which he did a long time ago, he opened himself up to a different set of rules in order to get her out. And mistakes number 4 and 5 are related to the fact that this is an illegal or a bootleg unit. It did not have a certificate of occupancy, and it shouldn't have been rented out. This form here from LAHD talks about RSO properties, and there were 2 major mistakes that happened with this illegal unit. When he added this illegal unit, and the same thing actually would happen if it had been a legal unit, but that second unit made him lose his exemption from the RSO. By having a detached single-family residential dwelling where there's only 1 unit, you're exempt from RSO. But because he added that second unit, he was no longer exempt. Unless a property is exempt from the RSO, an owner can't legally collect rent for that unit unless the owner has registered it and paid the registration fee and given the tenant notification, a registration statement. Neither of those things happened. The landlord didn't register it, nor let the tenant know it was registered and under RSO. So legally, the landlord could not collect rent from the tenant. And this may go all the way back to the original 20 grand that she paid when she leased it as an Airbnb. So the landlord is not going to effectively be able to make his case to get her out for unpaid rent because he legally can't collect rent in this unit. And this is the argument that the tenant's attorney has made, and the judge has agreed that the property is subject to RSO and must be registered before rent can be collected. Landlords, could this happen to you? Well, as long as you don't make these 5 mistakes we've run through, and one of the most important mistakes he made was having that illegal unit, that bootleg unit. So landlords, be very careful when adding additional units to your property, whether they are a legal accessory dwelling unit, which could change the way the property is classified, or if you have illegal units, or you're using a single family home as if though there are separate units. I know of one person who had basically rented out multiple rooms and partitioned those off, and that made it so that it was subject to the RSO, even though it was a single family home. So be very careful, landlords. Make sure you talk with an attorney before adding any additional units to a single family home. Oh, and don't forget, we're real estate agents based in Southern California. Before you even think of buying or selling, make sure you reach out. We have a link below so you can do that. Landlords, I want to hear from you. Does this scare you out of wanting to be a landlord in LA? Renters, you let us know below. Is this an appropriate use of LA landlord tenant law? I want you to share. Make sure you subscribe to our free weekly email newsletter so you can get updates like these gently delivered to your email inbox every Sunday. And I know you like this video, but you're going to love this next one right here. Thanks for tuning in. This has been Christian Walsh, real estate agent with Wire Associates, Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and we can't wait to hear from you.